points.
That's right. It is one of the best red zone defenses. They only gave up 1 touchdown off of 4 trips by Fullerton College inside the 20-yard line. That is impressive. If you can stymie offenses like that, have them settle for field goals, that'll do you all sorts of wonders with a Nick King offense that has been shaky despite their 2-0 start following the bye. 2nd down and 6 here from the goal line. Darren Walker flanks the quarterback, a 4-wide set. Pope looking end zone, fires that way, incomplete, going to Andrews. Now 3rd and goal from about the 6-yard line. And that was too close to come by there down on the goal line.
So true. I mean, that was a ball that should have been caught again. Right there, the quick slant, unfortunately not taken in by that wide receiver of the Seahawks.
Mike Andrews, despite the ecstatic play by his starting receiver Corey Butler, it's still been a fine day or fine season by Mike Andrews. 14 catches and a touchdown. That came last week. Pope fires end zone, and it's intercepted. No, dropped by Thaddeus Legrone, but whistles blew before he even made the attempt at the interception. That was a false start against the offense. That would have been 6 points the other way, Dan.
Yeah. That was going to be 6 points, but unfortunately a false start right there. Well, fortunately a false start for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Thaddeus Legrone read that one like a book. Pope looking left the entire time and fires to Waters, but now it'll be a 3rd down and 11 following the incomplete pass. From the red zone, LA Harbor has been one of the least efficient red zone offenses, only 40% scoring efficiency when they enter the 20-yard line. I mean, that should be as close to 100 as any. 3rd and goal from the 11-yard line. Handoff goes to Walker. Zigzags to the 10. Going to the end zone. 5-4-3 carrying Tigers to the 2. And he'll be taken down about a couple yards short. And what to do on 4th and goal.
Wow, if I'm LA Harbor, I got to go for it. I trust my running back, Walker. Last week on 31 rushes, 238 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think it's a manageable situation right here for LA Harbor as a player is hurt on the field now.
The Seahawk is down. The Tigers did make the stop, and Jack Moore, the kicker, is out onto the field to give the Seahawks their first points of the day. But it's been an adventure, special teams-wise, for the Seahawks, as their kicker, Jack Moore, has missed all of his last 4 field goal attempts, 2 of 6 on the season. And it has been an adventure trying to also get him punting the football as well, towards the bottom of California ranks as far as punting goes. And boy, you never like to see this with the injury front, but the Riverside Tigers have been extremely lucky when it comes to guys hurt. No big players through the first 5 games, Dan, have been injured so far this season.
Yeah, the injury bug has definitely not been on the side of RCC, which is always a good thing. Why not? I mean, you want to avoid the injury. The injury it changes the way teams play a lot of times, especially when it's a star that you rely on so much. And so if this continues for RCC, it's going to be a team with a lot of depth in the playoffs.
And depth was a problem last year, Dan, as during that Fullerton game, 5 of 11 offensive starters were out for that ball game, including a hobbled Skylar Howard who did play. But one thing that's been very impressive for the Tigers, we all talk about the impressive play of Skylar Howard, who's now as a sophomore playing as a backup at West Virginia University, and they just won their 5th game of the season today as they were able to upset one of the best teams in the nation in Baylor, and they did it at home. It's been an impressive season by West Virginia, but what's been great for the Tigers is that despite Skylar Howard, they are actually averaging more passing yards and more completions this season versus last, and not to mention Denzel Foster's really gotten things going the last few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, all those numbers that you're talking about, it's credit to just the instant change that we've seen with Nicholas King in the ball game, starting at quarterback. He's the type of guy who's going to make time in the pocket. He's going to roll out and just create a play out of nothing.
Well, this should be interesting as Anthony Fontoya was the injured Seahawk. Jack Moore, 2 of 6 on field goals. It'll be a 25-yard try. Snap, ball down. The kick is up. It's bending, and it's good. So that'll be his 3rd field goal of the season. 3 of 7 now for Jack Moore. 14-3 with 5:58 to play. And when you're in that close to the end zone, you got to come away with points. I mean, it'd almost be a shame if you couldn't get that field goal there.
It would have been disastrous at that. I mean, any points right now against RCC should be taken with stride and with a lot of confidence, I would say, if I'm LA Harbor. If I'm scoring on RCC, I'm proud of myself.
Well, the problem for the Tigers today has not been their quarterback, but Michael Stallone fumbling the football. That's now the 4th fumble on a kick or punt returner for the Tigers this season. And what do you tell your players when you're in that situation? Understandably, you're not always going to be the best, I guess, ball carrier on the team. That is held to the running backs, but 4 fumbles is unacceptable.
Yeah, and it goes back to film study. I mean, studying the film and seeing what's wrong with your technique. Looking at yourself and evaluating yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror and realizing, hey, I got to fix things.
Jack Moore is about ready to kick this one away, trying to fix his kickoff woes. He's almost dead last in California in touchback percentage, but he may get one here. No, he doesn't. It's returnable. There goes Marenko. Sideline to the 20, turns the corner at the 22. There is a flag down, and that may be against the Seahawks, but that'll be a return to 26. Alejandro Marenko. He's been an interesting story following being benched after a couple fumbles against Grossmont. He's now returning as one of the best kick returners for us, and that was a solid return there, following the 45-yarder to start the game.
The type of guy with a ton of speed, just a straight, flat-out playmaker. And so to have him on special teams is a luxury. A type of guy that could just break one at any minute. And when the ball's in his hands, expect a lot of movement from him. I mean, he's the type of guy that's going to shimmy, make a juke to the left, and then back to right. So the type of guy you want on your team.
There will be a penalty against the Seahawks. Alejandro Marenko started the season with that punt return touchdown. He's been relatively quiet since, but we'll see what he has in store as he's into the game as the slot. And you talked about the depth as a concern for LA Harbor. Well, it looks like they're going to go the rest of the game, not only without Corey Butler, but their stud offensive lineman at 6 foot 267, the freshman Antonio Montoya. He's taken off on the cart.
Yeah, it looks like a ankle injury. Let's hope it's nothing serious and just, the least we could hope for is just a minor sprain, I would say.
Hopefully he comes back soon. A flag is down and offsides and a free play. Christopher Anderson, he's got the first down, still on his feet and reaching into enemy territory. A pickup of 15, the 10th first down for RCC in all of 9 minutes. Yeah. Move the chains.
Hey, we're talking about that depth that RCC has. Well, Christopher Anderson, the backup running back, acting like he's a starter tonight. Did start. We have yet to see Denzel Foster. But, hey, when you got Christopher Anderson, why not?
Nick King in a Wildcat. Christopher Anderson will be the wide receiver to the right-hand side of King. Play clock down to 25. 5:43 to go. Riverside leads 14-3. LA Harbor kicked the field goal about a minute ago. Man in motion. That is Christopher Anderson. Goes from right to left, back to his original spot. Ball sits at the 48-yard line. Snap is back. Give goes to Davis, and he's tripped up off his own 2 feet by the shoelaces. And Tremel Davis picks up 5. Only his 6th carry of the season here, Dan, but that'll be close to a first down.
Yeah, taken down right on time. I mean, if he would have broken that tackle, you would have called another touchdown.
Another touchdown. Riverside ranks number 24 in the Dirty 30. Those are of teams in the entire United States, and they're trying to prove their worth today and could do so with a dominant win against LA Harbor. 14-3, 5 minutes and counting here in the opening quarter. Riverside looking for their 3rd touchdown of the first. Back to throw. King off a 4-man rush. Swings it out far side and has his man. That'll be Whitney again. And another gain of 5 here, Dan, and Whitney's getting involved first quarter.
He is, and right there just running a basic curl route. Nothing special. He's not juking anybody. He's not making moves. It's a stop, turn around, and get the ball to him. Perfectly thrown by Nick King, by the way, too.
Nick King was a man out of Westchester who many didn't even expect to be the starter or even the backup. Tom Kraft didn't have him play until last week against El Camino, and it certainly played huge dividends here for the Tigers. A high snap. King floats it towards the sideline. That one will go out of bounds. Incomplete. Only the 2nd incompletion here by Nick King today.
Right there, just having to throw it away because of the blitzing attack by the Seahawks. Smart play by Nick King. Nothing wrong with that. Live to fight another day, I would say.
King has been able to get everyone involved here in the first quarter. I think that's the sign of a smart and intelligent quarterback who you could see in the playoffs able to pick apart defenses. He's just getting involved, just his second game as a starter, third game played, and he's already making a huge impact. Over 60% completion. Shotgun snap, King will take it himself. Tucks it under 35-30. Sideline 25, and he'll kind of skip his way towards the sideline. Tippy toe out of bounds after gain of 17, and number 17 is able to move the chains here for the Tigers.
The game plan, it seems like, is to have Nick King get comfortable in the pocket, let him sit there, let the Seahawks forget of his dual threat. Right there, the Seahawks totally forgot, rolls out to the far side and gets another first down.
It'll be at the 24-yard line here for the Tigers. Shotgun snap, pass rush coming. Fires underneath. There goes Anderson. Cuts back to the 20, 15, and some great moves out to the 9-yard line. Christopher Anderson, ridiculous run for a catch of 15.
Actually, decent defense right there by the Seahawks. Nobody was open, but they forgot about the running back. Christopher Anderson just leaves his position in the backfield, turns around. Nick King dumps it off to him, and we got a first down here instantly.
Well, Riverside was a sloppy football team over the last few weeks, potentially the sloppiest 4-1 start Riverside has had in quite some time. 76 penalties for 617 yards over the first 5 games. That is dead last in the state, but they have yet to be penalized in this game. Meanwhile, LA Harbor, that's their 4th flag. Now the Tigers set up shop at the 9. King looking left, floats it to the end zone, going to Whitney, and it's out of the back. 2nd and goal now from the 9.
We've seen the timing patterns and the deep ball Nick King has had trouble with. Right there, overthrowing Whitney in the back of the end zone. It's something that they should work on tonight.
Or that LA Harbor defense has been put on their heels the entire first quarter. I mean, if the band was playing, they still probably couldn't find a rhythm as they are setting up shop for their 3rd touchdown given up opening quarter. King scrambles out of the pocket and tries to elude and does. Reaching to the end zone. Does he score? Still fighting. He's at around the 2 and a mad scramble that's pushed into the end zone. All Tigers able to try and get him to the score. That will be short. But that was something out of nothing,
Very
Dan.
impressive.
He was dead to rights in the backfield, but made a 7-yard carry out of what should have been a sack.
Not only does he show his speed there, but he showed his strength right there.
Right.
All 6'4", going for that end zone and just moving that rugby pile, it looked like.
Seriously. As it was just a crowd of dust down there at the goal line. Now from the 1, as the Tigers operate off of a 4-wide set. Morin and Stallone are the receivers in the slot. Isaac Whitney pushed out to the left-hand side. Your running back is Tremel Davis. Tigers lead 14-3 down to the goal line. King back to throw, looking left. Still time to throw. All still looking. Back to throw again. Hoist it to the end zone, and it's intercepted. Picked off and taken out of the end zone out to the 2. He should have kneeled it, but Nick King throws just his 2nd interception on the season. As the pick was made for the Seahawks by J. Lar Abram, his 2nd interception this season.
This is the type of game where those type of mistakes do occur. Overconfident right there, just taking his time in the backfield. Nick King was, and should have just thrown the ball away and kicked the field goal, but instead he tries to create a little bit too much, something that wasn't even there. Just throws it right into the hands of the Seahawk defender.
Nicholas King, who's been so great here for the Tigers, just threw his 2nd interception in as many weeks. It's been a struggle trying to find our quarterback, but we seem to find the answer in Nick King. But you'll have plays like that when you're starting just your 2nd game as a Tiger.
And he'll be in film study and evaluating that one himself. It's a type of play where you're just a little bit too overconfident. You're running over the Seahawks. You're driving at will. And so right there, he went back to playing football out in the streets. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was just a big kid acting like a kid right there. Can't blame him, really.
Yeah, I mean, you want a guy to be comfortable down there playing quarterback when you're trying to get your team to a championship. I mean, trying to always save the day was the problem and what really cost Kelly Helinski his job. The Seahawks have a 2nd and 11 from their own 1. Pope will pass, and it's nearly intercepted by Broughton. He had a house call, nearly the 2nd pick 6. But that one is dropped, incomplete, and you can see why they play cornerback and not receiver, Dan.
Yeah, Trayshawn Broughton, despite dropping the ball there, reacted so fast to that. his ability to have a nose for the ball, keeping an eye on the quarterback, wow.
He just
Great
has a
play
knack,
right
doesn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely what we call shut down.
Shut down.